I'm hurt. I'm incredibly hurt. I'm disappointed and a little bit pissed off, as a matter of fact. Ladies and gentlemen, the news we've all been waiting for isn't exactly the news Steelers fans have been waiting for.
Yeah, you see George Pickens on the thumbnail there? Yeah, that was pretty much Dan.
That is me right now. What do we do now?
Well, honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Honestly, I mean, the first thought that comes to mind is that they're going to have to ride with what they got.
Oh, yeah.
And what they got is mid. And that is basically Omar Khan's fault. If I had to be, had to be honest with you.
Might as well.
Oh, I actually forgot all about that.
It's down, but not for the right reason.
One of the push pins nearly impaled my back. You could have hurt me.
Hey, Aiyuk and the Niners impaled me with depression after this news, okay? So excuse me. I apologize. I'm upset, man. I'm disappointed. Now, I'm not surprised at the same time because as the days and the weeks kept going on, I felt like our chances were dwindling. That was until the past couple of days where we heard that that Brandon Aiyuk was not present at practice, including today. Well, clearly he was present enough to sign a 4-year extension worth $76 million guaranteed.
Big money contract, $30 million annually per year.
Wow.
And that was a contract that was offered to Aiyuk on August 10th, almost 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
So the deal was right there for Aiyuk. He could have taken it right there and then, but Aiyuk took his sweet time to really think it over, and ultimately tonight, he finally agreed to terms.
He took his sweet time, bro, because the Niners did not up their offer for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks.
No.
They didn't up their offer at all, and Brandon Aiyuk kept holding out or whatever his game plan was.
And within that time span, they had a deal in place with the Pittsburgh Steelers to send Aiyuk over to the Steel City.
Yes.
But they really waited. They were patient about what Aiyuk was thinking, what his decision was going to be.
Yes.
Ultimately, it was the decision that they wanted.
And the 49ers won because they didn't up their offer for anything, and eventually Aiyuk caved in on what he was trying to do and eventually signed an extension with the Niners for 4 more years. He'll be with the Niners for another 5 years with a new 4-year contract, $125 million extension.
I'm not surprised. I'm not. First off, I want to say that I am glad that this saga is over.
I think we can all agree on that.
This drama is over. Thank goodness that we can finally stop talking about it, that we can focus on the regular season. But going into the regular season,
you're looking at...
there is a very apparent hole on offense.
Well, yeah, there's many, actually. But wide receiver, most importantly...
No, that's the one that sticks out.
Well, yeah, because all we have is George Pickens. You do realize, knock on fucking wood, swear jar, if George Pickens goes down... I don't even want to continue because that scares me.
We're going to have to rely on Van Jefferson, guys.
Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson,
and honestly,
Scotty Miller.
And I don't know when Roman Wilson is going to get into action because he didn't play at all throughout preseason.
No.
So I don't know how quickly they're going to insert Roman into the offense.
Well, seeing how they've incorporated certain rookies in the past, not just from the offensive line or the defense last year, but even receivers, right? And then take Devonte. It took him a couple weeks for him to finally get inserted into the offense. Same thing with, like all the other receivers the Steelers have drafted in the past, James Washington, Chase Claypool. I think Juju had more of the more immediate sparks when it comes to receivers in recent memory. Otherwise, I don't know how immediate that's going to be for Roman Wilson because, like you said, he hasn't played a single game. Nope. He has not played an NFL game yet. He was hurt all of preseason. So how immediate is his playing time going to be? It's undetermined. What role is he going to have? Will he be rotated with Pickens alongside? Well, I guess we're going to have to find out. But that's an uncertainty, and that's a huge asking price for a guy like Roman Wilson to take the number 2 reins while Van Jefferson holds it right now. Van Jefferson cannot be the wide receiver 2 for the entire season. I'm sorry. I know he had himself a decent little preseason. He had himself a very good camp, and he was staying after practice, catching however many footballs after practice to keep his hands working, but he can't be the wide receiver 2 for the remainder of the season. Whether Van Jefferson is the placeholder for at least the first half before a guy maybe like Roman Wilson steps in, but Is that really the plan for 2024 with the Steelers in the wide receiver room? Is George Pickens and uncertainty?
Yeah.
You gotta look at it this way.
I guess it is.
You gotta look at it this way, man. The Steelers are screwed. A wide receiver. They are screwed. As of right now, they are screwed.
No, because let's look back at when Devonte was traded. We stated when the trade happened, when they got Dante Jackson in return, they filled in a hole at cornerback. They filled in cornerback 2, right there and then with the trade. And we stated when Johnson was traded that Khan would not have pulled this move. He would not have done this if he didn't have a plan B to replace Deontay Johnson at wide receiver.
And he did. He did. His plan B was trading for a wide receiver. His plan B was banking on Aiyuk. And he banked on him for months, since March.
And you've seen all the other wide receivers out there. A Mike Williams out there went to the Jets. A Tyler Boyd went to the Titans. Right? All various other wide receivers out there in free agency that the Steelers could have looked into and at least grabbed just to feel more comfortable at wide receiver 2. Sure, Omar Khan is aggressive. He wants to go big. You can respect that. But that's a huge gamble when other targets out there, available targets were out there, and he may have interviewed them. He may have brought them in for a visit, but he never really gifted them the contract they were looking for. He was never aggressive in bringing them in. He was aggressive in making a trade happen.
No, because they had a visit planned for Mike Williams, and he eventually signed with, who was it, the Jets?
The Jets.
The Jets. He had an offer on the table for Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd eventually took more money for the Titans. So it's not a lack of trying. It's just a lack of aggression, perhaps. And he put all that into trading for Aiyuk, and he had a deal in place. Whether that was mutually agreed upon between Lynch and Omar, I guess it was, because that's what was reported. Whether Lynch really meant it, I don't know. I mean, that's just business. You can't really just say, hey, we agree on something. In reality, like, he has crossies behind his back. Like, you just can't do that. So,
oh, yeah, of course. I mean, 2 weeks without, giving the Steelers a heads up and whatnot.
He was that close for making a trade.
Yeah,
so
Khan was very confident. He thought that he finally had it. After months of trying, contacting John Lynch in the 49ers front office and giving various offers and money to Aiyuk, he thought he finally had it. But then as we are approaching week 1, John Lynch just pulls the rug underneath Khan and be like, no can do, motherfucker.
Not just Lynch, but Aiyuk, because let's be real, Steelers got played.
They did,
This
absolutely.
was all part of Aiyuk's leverage to try to pry as much from the Niners as possible. It didn't really work, because look at Aiyuk now. He's signed an extension. The Niners win in all of this.
Yeah.
It's not a lack of trying by Omar Khan. He tried. His backup plan was trading for Aiyuk. Now, my question is, what is his backup plan for not getting Aiyuk? Does he have a plan C? Does he have a plan Z?
Does he even have a backup plan at that? Was his plan ultimately to get Aiyuk? As a GM, I feel like that cannot be his only option.
No.
I feel like he's got to have other options out there. Who they are, I don't know. Who the hell is out there?
There's no one out there. Now, there were reports that the Steelers were talking to multiple teams regarding wide receiver. One of them was the Niners, about Debo and Aiyuk. They're not getting either. Maybe they get Debo.
I highly doubt.
I highly doubt.
The Niners are banking on a Super Bowl run here now.
They're not trading nobody. They're going to get Trent Williams back as well. They're not trading nobody. They tried the Niners with both receivers. Fell flat. They tried it with the Broncos. The Broncos shut them down. Like, no, you're not getting Cortland Sutton. We just drafted a first-round rookie quarterback. You're not getting the only wide receiver we really have right now. The Seahawks. They had talks with the Seahawks. Could they trade for a guy like DK?
Or discussion's still open?
Or is that just wishful thinking on my part because I am sad, I'm depressed, I'm desperate, and I'm very concerned about the Steelers wide receiver room heading into the season? Because again, if Pickens goes down, I hate to think further, but if he goes down, you're looking at Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, and Roman Wilson as our wide receivers. I still see a lot of potential in Roman Wilson because I thought he would have an immediate impact. Obviously, no one anticipated the injury, so that immediate impact is going to be on the back burner. How immediate his playing time is, time will tell. Hopefully, sooner rather than later. And perhaps depending on the production from the receivers or a guy like Van Jefferson or whoever doesn't step up to the plate, maybe they give that opportunity to Roman Wilson, and then he, from a winning school, a winning mentality, he can step up to the plate. Maybe the pressure isn't too much for him. That's kind of what we have to bank on right now is maybe the 3rd round pick, the 84th overall pick, Roman Wilson, can take the number 2 spot. That right now is what we're banking on. I don't see Van Jefferson being the wide receiver 2 for the entirety of the season. Could he? Obviously. But is it wise? In my opinion, no. So I'm hoping Roman Wilson is the guy to step up. Otherwise, could they still trade for a receiver? Sure. But I question who.
Or when, because I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. It might not even be till the deadline. Was it week 9 now? I think they pushed it back a week.
Because if Omar Khan did indeed have a backup plan for not getting Aiyuk, it's not going to be an immediate move for that backup plan. It probably won't be till mid-season, obviously before the deadline, until he gets that backup plan. Who that is, what that is, no one knows except Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers front office. Could it be DK? Could it be another receiver we're not even thinking of?
Oh, the only other receiver I can think of is maybe Chris Godwin. But do the Bucs even want to get rid of a talent like him?
I don't know, man. They're kind of all in on Baker.
Maybe for the right offer. I don't know. But they just extended Baker. They're banking on Baker.
Chat, I need help. Chat, shout out to all you guys joining us right now. But chat, we need help. Is there any other receivers?
And listen, I'm looking at the free agency pool again. I don't know how many times I looked at this, but it's
booty.
ass.
It's booty,
it's
bro.
Ass.
It is
Hunter
booty.
Renfrow, he's not the answer. Michael Thomas, God, no. No, thank you.
It's booty. It's booty.
Other than that, there's literally nobody.
Noah Brown got signed. Yes, he did. Noah Brown's not going to
He's a commander now.
Yes. He's part of the
That was
53.
another option, and Steelers, I don't even know if they looked his direction. Probably not, because, again, they were banking on Aiyuk.
So, I'm going to go back to Omar Khan real quick, man. It's not a lack of trying. He tried, okay? You can't say he didn't try. It's not like a Kevin Colbert situation where he banks on a certain uncertain somebody to be the wide receiver 2 without making any other moves. Omar Khan tried, okay? You're not going to always succeed at every single option. It's just the nature of the business. He tried with Tyler Boyd. He tried to bring in Mike Williams for a visit before he signed with the Jets, right? He obviously tried his hardest and literally had a deal, handshake, verbal agreement for Aiyuk. We were there. We were at the goal line. We were there. We just, like 2022, we just couldn't get one fucking yard.
No. Couldn't get past the end zone. Couldn't get past the goal line.
We couldn't get past the line of scrimmage.
Nope.
So it's not a lack of trying. And I'm very curious to see if he has any backup plan. I would imagine he is, because he is still a good GM. Just because he didn't successfully get Aiyuk doesn't mean he's a bad GM all of a sudden. But you can absolutely give him... Shout to Jacob Frederick.
That's what we're going to have to do.
Remember, for 4 months, says, yo, I wasn't expecting us to get Aiyuk, go Steelers. I mean, towards the tail end, I wasn't expecting it either.
Again, throughout this whole ordeal, I've always had my expectations low. And when the news broke, I was like, I'm not surprised.
It's just, you can now give Omar Khan some negative feedback on this because he traded Devonte for Dante Jackson from the Panthers, right? So he filled a hole at cornerback, which was a necessity.
But he opened a hole at wide receiver at the same time.
And yes, he tried to fill that, and he has yet to fill that. Maybe that's Roman Wilson, but we literally have to wait a couple weeks until the season to see if we have that answer or not.
Yeah. And like you stated, he tried in pretty much every other aspect.
But
maybe he wasn't aggressive enough, but I would say, though he tried, this is definitely his biggest fumble to date.
Yes, but yet you trade Deontay Johnson, and you are still now heading into week 1, just a little more than a week away from the opening game in Atlanta. You are without a replacement. You are without a wide receiver 2. That is malpractice on his part. Again, it's not a lack of trying. It's just, it's a bad look. It's a very bad look. I'm not ready to say trading Deontay was a mistake. I'm not ready to say that because we truly don't know that yet. Because if we didn't trade Deontay, we don't know who our cornerback 2 would have been. And who knows? Maybe we do have a start in Roman Wilson. I still feel like we do. We got to see how this all plays out. So does it look like a mistake now? For now, yes. But I'm not ready to put a complete stamp on it because we have yet to see what all will happen.
Yeah, of course, we're going to have to see how all this plays out throughout the regular season. But the current wide receiver group, they are really banking on a lot of uncertainty. Even Roman Wilson. The guy's a rookie. We don't really know what he's going to bring to the table despite his serious upside. But Van Jefferson, his recent resume is just nothing but a wide receiver 4. Scotty Miller, a wide receiver 5. Calvin Austin, he's the most experienced wide receiver on the team outside of Pickens. How much is he going to have to step up? How much of a role is he going to get?
I don't know. Again, this is all to be determined. We will have to watch the first couple weeks to get that answer. And it won't be until that same amount of time until the Steelers perhaps maybe, and that's a strong maybe, trade for a wide receiver. It's not if they trade for a wide receiver, it's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be the week after that. I would be shocked if it is. In fact, I would praise the fact that if that were to happen, please do, because God knows we need to help as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be for at least probably midway to the season, if they do trade for one. Who that is, again, please put your options in the chat, because
yeah, please do.
Outside of DK and, like Rob said, Chris Godwin, I'm lost. So all the Steelers have to rely on now is clearly their ground game, which they're going to do anyway. They have 4 tight ends on the roster. They can utilize a lot of those.
Yeah, most importantly, Pat Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth is now going to have to be the number 2 receiver on the team.
He's going to have to be the security blanket.
Yes.
On this offense. He's going to have to be what Heath Miller was to Big Ben, that security blanket, that reliable target right there.
He's going to have to be like what Evan Ingram is to
Trevor Lawrence.
Thank you, Trevor Lawrence.
To the Jags offense. Yeah, just that credible hand, just that guy that you can lean on.
Well, the reason we say that is because he will clearly get targets now. It's not like last year where he wasn't used at all outside of the one Bengals game.
No, you got Arthur Smith now as your OC. We all know how he likes to utilize the tight ends. There's a reason they have 4 tight ends on the roster. So he's going to heavily incorporate the tight ends, which means Freiermuth is absolutely going to be getting more snaps involved in the receiving ability, which means that Pat Freiermuth should, on paper, be in for a big year, and he's going to have to be in for a big year because we're going to need him now more than ever without a wide receiver, too.
Yes.
And we're going to need Pat Freiermuth to really try and stay healthy. His availability is absolutely going to be tested.
100%. Anticipate Arthur Smith to use a ton of 12 and 13 personnel. He is going to use the tight ends a lot, and seeing the weakness of receiver, it's a necessity. But Pat Freiermuth should absolutely get a ton of targets now, and he will. You look at Arthur Smith, and you look at the way he uses his tight ends in years past, even with Atlanta, right? He gets the tight ends involved a lot in the receiving game. So those guys are going to have to step up the most outside of Van Jefferson and Roman Wilson, and maybe Calvin Austin.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have to step up now. The Steelers, Khan, Tomlin, everyone, they were banking on Aiyuk. They almost had him, but ultimately, they didn't get him.
No, they didn't.
So now they have to bank on the roster that they assembled and the roster that they've built through the offseason, the past couple years. I just pray Pickens doesn't go down.
Yeah,
and I pray a guy like Van Jefferson steps up. Seriously, I pray a guy, like Roman Wilson gets some immediate playing time so that he can express how he shouldn't have fell so far into the draft. Because I still have such great, hopes for him.
Expectations.
Tight ends, Muth, 100 in a contract year. He's going to have to step up. He's going to have to get a lot of targets. He's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to literally be the number 2 receiver on the team.
Yeah, this is a big time, really, and legitimately proven year for Freiermuth.
I'd even get Darnell Washington involved.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially if you're in the red zone area, you're in the end zone, that mismatch, you have to utilize it. Why would you not?
I would hope so. But, yeah, I mean, otherwise, there's going to be no trade for a couple weeks. There probably won't ever even be a trade. The way I'm seeing it right now, if they don't trade for a wide receiver, they're going to have to rely on their roster, which is hit or miss, to be determined. Otherwise, 2025, they're going to have to make an immediate fix at receiver alongside Pickens.
And keep in mind, next year's cap space for the Steelers, they're supposed to have some pretty serious cap.
We also look at
over $75 million.
Not just that, but you look at it, Pickens is coming to his 3rd year. So after 2024, next year will be a contract year.
And by that time, and I anticipate Pickens to have a massive year, I do. At that time, Pickens is going to be in for a huge contract extension. That's my anticipation.
So wide receiver is going to be seeing a lot of priority when it comes to the Steelers if they don't make a trade before the end of the season.
I mean, dude, did you see the wide receiver market throughout this whole offseason? How many wide receivers were just extended and given big money?
CD, Justin Jefferson, Aiyuk now.
And Jamar Chase is next in line.
But you know who else is also next in line and won't get an extension? T. Higgins.
Yes, he will be. He is a free agent next year.
I'm stamping my name right now. If the Steelers do not trade for a wide receiver, they are going into the 2025 offseason and they are signing T. Higgins. It'll be just like Patrick Queen. It'll be the Patrick Queen of 2025. Hey, man, you're a divisional rival, but you belong over here. You don't belong over there.
Yeah.
You're wearing the wrong colors. You're in the wrong city. Come on over to the cool side. Come on over, team with Pickens and Higgins. Oh, my God. With a rookie quarterback.
And that's a deadly duo. That's a dominant duo, wide receiver.
I'm stamping my name on T. Higgins, hopefully. That's wishful thinking, but I'm stamping my name there.
He's already number one on your free agency wish list.
Oh, 100%. I'm not even before even looking at anyone else. That's my wish list. That's if they don't trade for a receiver, which we don't know what the odds are of that.
Yeah.
It's all speculation. And it's all wishful thinking.
How Roman Wilson does in his rookie year, too.
It's all desires. It really is. They'll have the money to sign Higgins. They will. They'll have the money to extend Pickens. They'll have the money to pay Higgins. Pickens and Higgins. It kind of has a cool tone to it.
Yeah.
James Daniels could be gone, so they might not extend him, and they could have the replacement in McCormick.
Warren's due for an extension.
I mean, he's a exclusive rights free agent, so he'll be back no matter what. But yes.
I would just give him the extension flat out. I wouldn't even go the Mike Hilton route because we all know what happened. They just kept tendering him. Yeah. Never gave him the extension that he deserved. I just give Warren the extension.
Depending on how Muf does, he could get extended.
Najee, potentially.
I still think this will be his last year.
I know how you feel about that, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Right.
It's a possibility now.
Do they have the money to keep those guys and still bring in a lot of free agents? I think they do. They have the most cap space they'll have probably in team history. So, yeah, I think they'll have enough to be able to make moves, the necessary moves. That's for 2025, but, I mean, even still, that's probably when we'll see an actual fix at receiver. That is if they don't trade for a receiver or if Roman Wilson doesn't step up or Van Jefferson. Yep. But I'm banking right now on Roman Wilson being the 2. Not for week 1, but probably week 7, week 10 is what I would have to probably place a bet on. Because, unfortunately, he's not going to get immediate playing time.
Unless Tomlin really wants to throw him in there because, I mean, he was a big part of why Wilson is a Steeler.
Yeah.
He really liked him coming out of Michigan. He was really having an eye on him throughout the Senior Bowl and whatnot, the Combine and everything. So, I don't know.
Did they even go to the Michigan Pro Day? I don't even think they went to...
I thought they did, or somebody did. Somebody definitely went to the Michigan Pro Day.
Yeah, I think they had a scout there, but I know Tomlin had his eyes on Wilson all draft season. But it's a matter of when will he play. The fact that he didn't play all preseason is awful for him.
Oh, well, here's a tweet from Jerry Dulick, Steelers insider. He said, Steelers are not surprised the 49ers re-signed Brandon Aiyuk. It's what they expected all along.
Okay, so because of that, were they searching for another option? Were they looking at other players? Were they looking at other plans? Were they looking at other areas, other teams that they could call and say, hey, can we have your receiver? We need one. You guys have a stacked receiving core.
Hope so.
You guys have a stacked receiving core. We don't. Help us out. God damn it.
Yeah.
Swear joy.
I sure as hell hope so. Obviously, they didn't bring anybody in off of waiver claims. They didn't even put in a waiver for anybody to claim. They put 0 out there. And the various other receivers out there, Noah Brown, he was gone, and all the other options. Tim Patrick, he went to the Lions practice squad. You know, they obviously didn't get anybody else.
No.
So if this is what they expected all along, I hope to God that Omar Khan had another plan in mind. He had a plan C.
I hope so.
He was doing some digging. He was looking around. He was scoping.
All I know,
right?
This is going to be a rough season. It's going to be a little exciting, but heading into it now, I'm a lot more concerned than excited. For obvious reasons. The quarterback position is still very unknown. Receiver is so concerning. The offensive line is going to take weeks to actually gel together again. And God forbid we don't get hurt. We don't get any more players hurt. Please, for the love of Jesus.
Yeah, go figure. By the way, the offensive line has been sustaining injuries. Go figure when we're trying to make it good, we're trying to develop something nice here on the offensive line. It gets hurt, but when our offensive line was fucking dog shit, like nothing happened. Like, our luck is just not on our side, you know what I mean?
I would pray that if our offensive line was so bad that our stars wouldn't get hurt. Because
yeah, of course. I'm not saying that.
Shout out to Art Barkley, 18.
I'm not saying I
We're
want the line to
screwed.
get worse. I'm just saying.
2 words for you. We're screwed. R. Barkley 18 with a 2. When did Aiyuk become Randy Moss or Megatron? He didn't. He didn't. Who said that he was?
Nobody is comparing him to that. What are you even trying to make with that statement? What are you trying to do?
You're saying trading for Aiyuk and paying him $28 million wouldn't be a good move? It wouldn't improve the receiving position? And whatever they had agreed upon in terms of a trade, it wasn't going to include a first. Whatever they would have traded would have been worth it. But now they're stuck with what they're stuck with. We're left with Pickens, a receiver 3, a receiver 5, a receiver 4, a rookie, and hopes and dreams.
Optimism.
Depression is what we're left with.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the weakest receiving room we've seen in a long time. And it's weird saying that because obviously the Steelers are just known for breeding receivers. It's probably one of their strongest things in franchise history. Although lately, I do throw it out there that lately our receiving core, our drafting of receivers outside a guy like Pickens have been terrible. They've been mid. They've been very just middle of the area, middle of the field. There's just nothing up there.
Well, there's no progression from either of them. They've either peaked their rookie season or just did nothing afterward.
They're all gone outside of Pickens.
Yeah, they're done. They're gone.
So our drafting receivers lately haven't been good. So we're hoping Pickens, we already know he's capable of, but he's going to have to step up big time as a 1, but I think we all trust him.
Of course.
We just pray he don't get hurt, and we're going to need a guy like Roman Wilson to really just take that spot, take that throne, and run with it. Right now, man, here's where I'm at. When it comes to receiver, where I'm at in terms of a roster standpoint and who the Steelers have, I am begging Mike Tomlin, play Roman Wilson. It's nothing against Van Jefferson. It's nothing against the other receivers we have. It's just play Roman Wilson. If he's not the guy I think he is, if he's not the guy that came out of Michigan, well, guess what? Then you know you're really screwed.
Yep.
But Roman Wilson is really the guy we're trying to hope can step up the most out of all the other receivers outside of Pickens.
Yeah.
And the tight ends,
And
of
they
course.
may have to incorporate the running backs as receiving options as well.
Well,
They've done it constantly.
Anticipate a lot more. Wow. R. Barkley with 18. With a 5. He's Fruit Loops on D. Johnson. Great value fruit rings, not worth $39 per. He will never live up to that money. Watch and see. Aiyuk?
He got 30 mil,
Yeah, he got 30 mil.
not 39.
And by the way, he's Fruit Loops to Devonte? Are you kidding me? When did Devonte ever put up 1,300 yards?
At least Aiyuk don't drop the football.
When did Devonte ever put in that much effort as a receiver? I'm sorry. How can you? Listen, we appreciate Super Chats, but we got to disagree. No, come on. He's going to live up to that. Come on. He was their number 1 receiver. He still is now, obviously. But yeah, I'm begging Mike Tomlin to play Roman Wilson. That's what I'm really banking on right now from a roster standpoint, unless they trade for somebody. But we shouldn't expect that, honestly, at this point at all. I don't, because what is there any other receiver that's disgruntled about their current status with the team? Is there any other receiver that wants out? Is there any receiver that is open to be traded?
Not that I've heard. We probably won't hear that till leading up to the bye.
Unless it's just been super quiet and then we get something just thrown left field out of nowhere. Trade for John Mechie? I would like that. I think that's a great opportunity and would be an immediate upgrade at depth. But the fact that they got rid of Noah Brown kind of secures his spot. And I don't think they're going to want to get rid of Mechie. They still see the potential, and he's an incredible number 4. I don't think that's still going to happen. Cortland Sutton, I wish. When this Aiyuk stuff first came out, when he made the tweet about Tomlin and everything, we looked at, well, if we don't get Aiyuk, maybe we get Sutton. That was already debunked. That was already shot down by the Broncos. They're not doing that. I'd hope they do, because that's just that's the easiest no-brainer for the Steelers right now. It's a cheap option. We all know the connection with Russ. I think that'll make the most sense, and we won't have to trade up a lot for it. But I don't think it's going to happen. Christopher Hunt with a 10. Appreciate you, Chris. Says, love the show. Keep the coverage and hope that you can cover all the games. All the Steelers games, we will. You can bank on that.
You got it, Chris.
We might even cover some of the AFC North games of the rivals. The AFC North War Room. We're probably going to bring that back for the season from time to time. Wow.
Another 5.
The Mikado 16 with a 5 says, well, be okay with what we got. Run game, tight ends, and scheme will get us through. That defense is unbelievable. Wilson will be Wilson will be slow to start and shine at EOY. What's EOY? I'm having a brain fart. What's EOY?
I don't know.
Irregardless, I mean, I hope you're right, man. Appreciate the 5. I hope you're right. You know, maybe we should have a little more optimism. Maybe we should be like Mikado. Maybe we should have a little more optimism.
End of year.
Oh, duh. Thank you, guys. Yeah. End of year, yeah.
Well, I will throw one guy out there that came to mind. And I read something. I don't know if it's legitimate or not, but it was from Deshaun Jackson. He was on the Herd.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah. Because he was talking to Devonte Adams. And he said, this is according to him, I don't know if it's legit or not, but he stated that Devonte is still unhappy in Las Vegas.
Really?
And I know that speculation is still going to be going around till the trade deadline.
Why does everyone keep saying Tony? Kadarius Toney sucks.
No!
If the Chiefs
He don't deserve a practice squad spot.
If the Chiefs didn't even keep him, why the hell would the Steelers pick him up? Continue. Devonte Adams,
yeah, apparently he's still, well, I mean, it's not hard to see why. Look at their quarterback situation. He's got Gardner Minshew as his starting quarterback.
Is their quarterback situation better than ours?
Well, they got Gardner Minshew, they got Aiden O'Connell. Who else they got? They had Nathan Peterman, but he was cut.
Well, at least
is that it?
At least Russell Wilson's established. Gardner Minshew's just a bridge, a backup, and technically Russell Wilson's a bridge, but at least he's still capable of starting. I'm not saying Minshew isn't capable of starting. I just don't view Minshew as a full-year starter.
I'm not saying Devonte is going to be a Steeler. I'm not saying that one bit. I'm just throwing it out there because, especially with how the Raiders potentially play and how the quarterback situation plays, some tells me that Adams and the trade speculation is going to continue to be talked about because it was last year, remember?
Yes.
People thought the Devonte was going to be traded. Ultimately, he wasn't, obviously, but the situation with Josh McDaniels and the quarterback situation, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, it's obvious to see Devonte was not happy.
He probably still isn't.
I believe it. I would.
Well, let's look at it
Whether
this
Jackson
way.
is telling the truth or not, I don't know. But, I believe it.
Let's put it this way, man. Because I actually like that option. I know he's a little older, but can he still play? Obviously.
Yes, he's arguably number one.
If he were to be traded, the Commanders, the Raiders, what's the difference? The Raiders would save $17.5 million and only take a $7.85 million dead cap hit. Now, they would also take a $15.7 million cap hit next year in 2025, but, I mean, who are they paying? They can kind of wipe their ass with that.
Yeah. Now,
so they could afford to trade Devonte.
Now, I don't see Antonio Pierce wanting to do that, though.
No, me neither.
I don't see him in the mentality he's trying to bring to the group and what he's trying to bring to the team. So what he's trying to rebuild, I don't see him just willingly trading away Devonte. Unless Devonte is absolutely that unhappy, then Pierce may ultimately pull the trigger. It may just come down to business.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to put too much stock into that, but I would definitely keep an eye on a situation like that because...
I mean, that's for weeks down the line, potentially. That's a potential case.
It's never too early to speculate. It's never too early to think of who they could grab. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already thinking about maybe they sign T. Higgins in the offseason next season.
Right.
Please God. But that means we would have to go through a whole season with what we have. And maybe Mikado with his $5 super chat is right. Maybe the scheme will get us through. Maybe the run game, which has in the past couple years, can get us through. The tight ends can get us through as long as they stay healthy. Now, clearly, it's a new scheme. It's a new offense. It's a new everything. So we don't really know. We'll know where we stand in like a month or two from now, right? We'll see what the offense is truly capable of. It should, without a doubt, be a lot better than what we witnessed the past 5 years. But how much better? I hope a significant amount. but I don't know how much with the lack of a receiver too. But perhaps, yeah, they're gonna rely a lot on the running backs, the run game. That's Arthur Smith's bread and butter. And like you stated, they're going to get their running backs involved a lot in the receiving game, which clearly they're capable of doing. Warren, especially. And we have been begging for the past year and a half to get Najee involved in the passing game. Because every time Najee came onto the field in Matt Canada's system, everyone and their sister-in-law, baby cousin Tracy knew that Najee was getting the ball handed to him in the ground game.
Second to Najee, it still will be, by the way. Probably.
The second Najee came onto the field, the defense stacked the box. Najee was lucky enough to get 3 yards of carry. Everyone knew Najee was getting the ball handed to him when he came onto the field. With Warren, it was a lot more unpredictable because they exercised his receiving ability a lot. Do that with Najee. Use Najee's receiving game more. It will make him a lot less predictable, and it will make the offense as a whole more dominant. It will make it more fun. It will be a lot more successful. So anticipate more running back screens, anticipate more pony. I would hope so.
I just hope we don't see an overabundance of dinks and dunks.
I hope not.
Because I feel like we've seen that way too many times.
Well, we saw that when Russell Wilson played versus the Bills. The Bills? Yeah, the Bills in his first preseason game. Now, Arthur Smith said it was because he was hurt, so he limited his playbook. Now, he's the starter. He's fully healthy. Give him the full menu. Give him the full course.
The whole buffet right there. Boom.
Like, there's no limiting nothing, bro. Go all in, and let's hope we can find success here. So I'm praying that they can utilize that. Like, the fact that they only have 5 receivers and they lack a receiver too, that alone is scary, right? But they have the numbers around all that to still make up for a lack of a receiver too. We know it. We've seen the production. We have the players to do it. Najee Warren can do it. Muth, when healthy, can do it. We have yet to see Darnell Washington. I hope he gets targets. Connor Hayward, I've been praying for him to be used in the slot more often. We got guys that can step up. We can feed the ball to anybody, and they'll produce on the field. So perhaps it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's still very concerning to me. We're hoping it comes off on the field a lot better than what we're fearing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm still banking on, hopefully, Van Jefferson and Roman Wilson to step up as the two. And yes, you're right. He will have a slow start. Roman Wilson will have a slow start just because that's how Tomlin likes to play his rookies. But I think he'll shine at the end of the season. I was really hoping he'd have an immediate impact and potentially win the wide receiver 2 position, but unfortunately he got hurt and he wasn't given the opportunity. But the second he's on the field, you give that man the targets and let him shine, man, because he can do it. You guys think we're keeping him too long? Keeping who? Cade, keeping who? Oh, do you mean Tomlin? I mean, yes. Yes.
Well, yeah, of course.
He'll be 20 years in 2 seasons. Good for him. I mean, there's not many coaches that can say that. There's only a handful of coaches in the past 10 years that can say that.
No, but that seat's been cool. It hasn't even gotten warm.
Yeah, listen, Tomlin has the most safe job in the NFL over Andy Reid. He has his seat is so cold, he's sitting on an iceberg.
Yeah.
On April 15th, 1912, bro. That's how cold it is.
Yep.
I'm not going to get into that. But I do fear this season's going to be a repeat of what we've seen in the past. That's for another day because, boy, do I really want to get into that. But that's for another day. Right now, we're going to talk about Aiyuk and the receiving position. Chat, is there anyone else that you'd like the Steelers to grab? That includes trading. That includes free agency next season. That includes the draft. Maybe they go get a guy like Burton. I think Burton would be great. You know, people are already thinking of receivers they could draft next year, maybe early. And the fact that they don't have to trade picks right now, at least, or as many picks, or as high capital, they could use that for receiver potentially. And yes, a rookie quarterback in the first round. I know there's other needs, maybe defensive line next year, maybe corner, but depending on how active they are in free agency, maybe we can literally put all our tokens on a quarterback next year. That's how I'm viewing it.
More than likely, it depends.
I don't know. Chat, how you feeling, man? In fact, let me get a look at this poll because I put a poll. What now? 277 votes. 32% say I don't know because I don't know either. I am lost. Khalil Shakir is a great wide receiver too. Yeah, he is. He's gonna have to be the 2 now with Keon Coleman.
Oh, for Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, for Buffalo, yeah. Lamarian Lewis, yes. T. Higgins, please. I'm banking on that. I'm putting my name on that right now. That'll be the Patrick Queen of 2025 for the Steelers.
Okay, this is new information here from Diana Ruzzini
of ESPN.
The 49ers only were willing to trade Brandon Aiyuk if they could get a top-flight wide receiver to replace him. They offered a third-round pick to Denver for Cortland Sutton, and then would have dealt Aiyuk to the Steelers, but the Broncos declined the offer.
There you go.
So he stays in San Francisco.
Which means Cortland Sutton is not an option for the Steelers either.
So it goes to show Sean Payne does not want to get rid of Cortland Sutton.
No, so Cortland Sutton is not even an option. Bury that. Throw it in the trash, lay it on fire, toss it down a fucking hill.
That's for a third-round pick. I think that's more than enough for Sutton.
Yeah, we were thinking maybe trade a 4th or a 5th based on his contract. Nope. Still early. With a 199 says draft Travis Hunter. You're not going to hear a no from me. That dude can be anything. You want him to be a cornerback 2 with JPJ? You want him to be wide receiver 2 with Pickens?
I think he's going to be a high pick.
Could he play? Obviously, could he play both in the NFL, or is he gonna just play one in the NFL?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But he's capable of doing both.
Dude, he is an elite player at either. Like, the guy is an absolute athlete. It is.
I don't see how he makes it to the
unbelievable.
Steelers pick because I don't think the Steelers have a bottom 20 pick. I don't.
They could always trade up.
Yeah, it's possible.
They could always trade up.
Depends how high or if he falls that far.
I would love Travis Hunter. Or Luther Burden. Even the Ohio State guy. What's his name? I can never pronounce it. I'm going to call him Double E. I forget his name. I mean, I know his name. I just can't pronounce it, and I'm not trying to sound foolish right now. You know how we are with names. We're just...
Can't pronounce it to save our life.
No. But you guys know what I'm talking about. That's for 2025. But it's never too early to look ahead because...
And you know what? Back to the news by Ruzzini, you know, if Denver was willing to trade Sutton just like that easily, Sutton could have been a Steeler. And we probably wouldn't have to worry about this whole
Sutton
Aiyuk
would have
drama.
been... Dude, Sutton would have been the Steelers 3 months ago.
But they were not even willing to take a third. So, like, how much... what do they think? They want a first? A second, obviously? Like, Jesus Christ. Swear jar.
Go put it in.
Like they were just... Like, Sean Payne was not budging about one in return. But I felt a third was more than enough.
I thought...
Whether the Steelers offered that or not, San Fran obviously did because they were willing to trade Aiyuk away if they got Sutton. But
Well, perhaps they would have gotten a third if they traded Aiyuk to the Steelers.
I guarantee
so
you
they
it
could have
was.
traded that third from the Steelers to Denver. But and Zem 1134 with a 2. What y'all think going into the season now?
let's ride.
Let's ride.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm cautiously getting in the car. I'm not. I don't know.
Oh, I'm putting that seatbelt on and I'm strapping it real tight. I'm making sure I don't go anywhere.
I felt like
And I'm in the back seat. I'm not even in the driver's seat.
See, I felt better a month ago. Heading into this season, man, just based on the concerns we have on the roster and looking at the schedule, dude, it's going to be a rough one. And my ultimate fear is Mike Tomlin is going to lead us to another just repeat. And I don't want that because this roster is better than last year. We have a little more concerning holes at receiver
and some depth
and
issues.
corner, but
yeah.
I feel like as a whole, the roster's better. The quarterback position is better. We got 2 worthy starters. It's just, I don't know, man. There's still a lot of unknown. the scheme, the quarterback position, the slot corner position, the offensive line now having what could be 3 rookies starting come week 1. Eventually 4, maybe all 5 young guys, including Broderick, McCormick, Frazier, and Fatanu, maybe Spencer Anderson, all being a part of the line. Like, it's going to take some time.
Yep.
And I just realized I don't have the I in signs over here.
The what? Oh, and the ticker.
I just looked. Let me save that. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
right, we fixed it. It's all right. We're good.
How y'all feel about the Justin Fields package? Please do it. Just don't make it repetitive. Don't make it too predictable. I think it'd be great. I think it's something this offense could really use. It'd keep the defense on their toes, and it could lead to a lot of splash plays, and it could lead to a lot more scoring drives. Just don't get repetitive. Don't rely on it too much. And whenever Fields is in there, I hope he can literally make plays. Like, they're not going to have him in to run wildcat or read options or whatever and just run it. He's going to have to throw it at some point. I hope he executes.
Still lead with a 199.
He says the Devonte trade looks so bad now. It does. For now, it does. And it arguably has for the past couple months. I'm not ready to stamp it as a complete failure yet, because Omar Khan could still have a card up his sleeve. He could still have a couple tricks he has yet to show us, right? That's probably wishful thinking on my part, but as a GM and seeing what he's done an incredible job so far, building this roster, building the line, right? Revamping a lot of negative. But he absolutely opened one at receiver as well.
Massive one.
But seeing how open he is, I'm hoping that throughout all this Aiyuk stuff and waiting on an answer and waiting essentially a whole month after having an agreement, a deal in place, I'm hoping that within that time he was calling around teams for like backup plans.
Yeah, I just hope he just wasn't sitting by the phone and thinking, "Oh,
Let me just
Aiyuk's
put
my one guy."
Yeah, let me put all my eggs on Aiyuk and not look at anyone else.
No,
I
he's
pray
gotta,
he didn't do that.
Considering Dulak tweeted not too long ago, the Steelers expected Aiyuk to resign.
You guys are great.
Just keep coming in. Why not?
Ansem 1134 with a 2 says, just hoping Calvin or Roman break out this season. Me too. I'm really banking on Roman.
Like, it very well depend on the guys that they drafted to really step up.
But could Calvin be like another Tutu? Could he be like another Tank Dell? If used properly, I think Calvin can be very similar to Tank Dell.
That's up to Arthur Smith to utilize.
That is, yes. He was underutilized a lot last year. We know his speed. We know his deep threat ability. Use it. We need it, dude. And speed kills, and speed is something we haven't had on the offense in a long time. He's arguably our fastest player outside of Roman Wilson. So use it. We have been so just stuck in the mud. We've been slow. We've been methodical in terms of speed on offense. Use it. So you're right. I hope they break out. Either of them, both of them really are our fastest receivers. So use them. Give them the opportunity, man. I know they're going to rely heavily on the veteran and Jefferson, but I just don't bank on him being the 2 all year. He'll be a placeholder for a couple weeks and then give those guys the chance. I think Calvin Austin still has a ton of potential. Matt Canada never used it last year. Never.
They have to allow him to unleash that.
Yes.
And Zach Asani, he gave Austin a lot of praise, saying, he's looking great. He's looking damn good out on the field.
Well, the past 2 seasons, he's shown his deep threat ability. He's just gotten better at separation and his route running, big playability. Like, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and have 1,000 yards, but he can be that big play machine. He can be that secret weapon.
Just a matter of getting him involved in using his ability.
It's also a matter of if Arthur Smith uses 11 personnel, because he was dead last in that usage last year and for years prior.
I know.
He doesn't use a slot weapon often, but maybe there's certain packages he can run where he has Calvin Austin lined up.
I sure hope so.
Maybe if they run pony, they put him alongside the quarterback with Najee or Warren, and then he runs a couple real routes or a couple, posts. I don't know. Maybe it's a way to get him on the field while having him to play the outside role. They're going to have to get creative. Arthur Smith's going to have to get, very fun here. All of our guys are fast, and we got tight ends to lean on. You're right. We don't have the production, but we have the potential and we have the numbers to be able to get guys involved. We have so many guys that we can feed the ball to and spread the ball to. It can make up for the lack of a receiver too.
And that's what they're going to have to bank on until they can figure out exactly what to do, or if the guys really do step up and show, hey, we didn't need Aiyuk all along.
Yeah, that's just what we're all going to have to.
And at least, this saga finally over. At least the team and the players can now finally look at going into week 1, not having to worry about this. Like, this is over. Like, we didn't get them, but now we can focus on the season. Like, let's go out there and be the best damn version we can possibly be out there.
Absolutely.
Like, no more of this. Let's go out and play ball. Let's play some Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do.
It's going to lean a lot now officially on Arthur Smith to utilize these weapons, to get these guys involved, and to scheme the offense to success. We know he can scheme a ground game. We know he can get tight ends involved. We know he can get certain guys involved. We know the route trees that he can use his receivers to run. You look at Drake London last year. Drake London is incredibly underrated. And if he had a better quarterback, he may have had 1,000 yards. He was so close to it last year.
Damn near.
And look at the route trees that he was running. Look at the route sheets he was running. So he can get guys involved. As an OC and an OC only, he can hopefully, dare I say, cook. But it's really going to be up to Arthur Smith to scheme us a really good offense and a passing offense at that. The one asterisk about Arthur Smith that really worries me, he has never schemed a top 15 passing game. Not once. Not even when he revived Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee.
When he took him all the way to the AFC Championship game. When he had Corey Davis, that's number 2, and, of course, A.J. Brown is number 1.
Right.
Remember their tight end, Irv Smith? In his, I don't want to say prime, but it was the best Irv Smith looked when he got before he got the big contract with New England, if anybody remembers.
Right.
So, yeah, that is a thing to worry about, but we'll see.
It's going to be a fun season, guys. It's going to be scary.
It's going to be a chaotic season.
See, I'm trying to remain optimistic about this. I'm trying to look ahead into the season and think of how can we find success? What could we expect? A lot of it is still very unknown because a lot of it is new. And that's what excites me. New is always exciting to me. It might be concerning. It might be worrisome to a lot of others. To me, I see a lot of excitement in it. Like when Ben left and we had to deal with the now awful quarterback situation we had to deal with. I was excited about it because I wanted to see what life was going to be after. And it was worse than I could have expected, but now I think we're in a better situation. We have a better offense. We have a better team. So I'm more excited. Amzen 1134 with a 5, man. I have a feeling Chris Boswell and Cameron Johnson are going to be real busy this season. Boswell's always been busy, so let's make him less busy. The only time I ever want to see Boswell on the field, or the most I ever want to see Boswell on the field, is for extra points. Please.
Yeah, but I mean, it's leg day every day for Boswell. He's getting out there and having to use that thing several times.
Listen, man, if the offense is a repeat of what we've seen, or the offense isn't living up to what they should, at least we know we have a punter that can boot the damn thing. See, trying to be optimistic here.
Yeah, anybody see?
I look at it negative. Hey, maybe we continue with the 3 and outs. At least we got a punter.
Absolutely. Not like Presley Harvin anymore, thank God.
This season's going to be, it's going to be interesting. This season's going to be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little terrified, but. See, that's why I need, next Sunday to be now, because I just want to be able to see what's going to happen. I want to be able to find out how our season's going to go. You know what I mean?
Of course. It's just right around the corner, though.
By the way, this C4 is a shit. Excuse me. Swear jar.
We were talking about Travis Hunter earlier. I just realized the Colorado game's on right now.
What are their stats?
Well, Colorado's up 7-3. They got the ball. If I can check the box score really, really quick. Okay. Sanders threw a touchdown, and it was to Travis Hunter, 41 yards.
Future Steeler. Future Steeler guys.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Travis Hunter.
He might be a top 10 pick.
He might fall down though because
Uncertainty of
teams
position.
don't know where he's going to be. Like that always happens. Like players fall down players' draft boards because they don't know what position they're going to play. It happens to a lot of players, especially like defensive hybrids, like a Jabril Peppers, right? He fell a little bit because is he going to be linebacker? Is he going to be safety? He eventually played safety, but he fell to who was it? The Browns?
Yeah, he was selected by the Browns.
And
yeah.
then he's gotten traded to a couple other teams, but that's an example.
But I've always found that as a thing where players just having that versatility playing anywhere. I mean, that just makes them a even better prospect.
Well, so it fits.
That might just be me, but
it fits the Steelers' #1 requirement when drafting somebody.
if
Are
they
you
can-
versatile?
if they can play one position and then play the other, and they're very good at it, if they're good at both, then it's like, hey, man, we got a damn good player right here. We got a damn good prospect.
Hey, are you an offensive lineman, but can you punt the football? That's the Steelers' #1 requirement.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no more thick boy in Pittsburgh.
I'm just saying.
I hope he's doing good. Like, outside of football, I hope he's doing good.
Me too. Me too.
Steeler lead! Those are the 2 words for you.
With a $4.99, with BA getting paid, maybe the 49ers trade Debo at the deadline. I was thinking that too, but I think we already stated with them really pushing for a championship, I don't know if they're going to want to trade anybody.
They are not
They're
getting
gonna-
rid of anybody.
They're going to want to keep as many people as possible.
I don't see anybody leaving.
But if that's the case, yeah, I would think Khan and Lynch, they pick the phones back up like, hey, remember the conversations we had in April during the draft about Debo? Let's start talking. It could happen. I don't rule it out. I just don't see the Niners trading anyone when they're really trying to win in Purdy's rookie contract. But perhaps it happens. You know, with Khan, we should know to never rule anything out.
Of course.
We should know that. But yeah, I mean, we've given Khan so much credit. A lot of us have, man. We call him King Khan for a reason here. But it is very reasonable. It is very fair to give him criticism for the situation he's put the Steelers offense in at wide receiver. It's not like he hasn't tried. It's not like he hasn't been aggressive. But I think within the next coming weeks, we'll really see if he had a plan B. And I think we'll really get a full assessment how this Devonte trade will make out with the Steelers. Right now, it doesn't look good. Right now, it looks rough. It's also a fact Devonte probably didn't want to be there. I don't know. It's speculation, but it's very possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
So perhaps he traded him because
you got
of that reason, but also because he knew, hey, we had an opportunity to fill a hole, so that's why he did.
Yeah, and when Devonte was here last year, you kind of got the sense that, he was going out there doing his job, but you also got the sense like he didn't want to be here anymore. You got the sense it was like, I'm just through with the city. I'm through with the fan base. You know what I mean?
Well, his lack of effort, really showed that, but I don't know.
Plus the attitude problems that was reported.
That's all speculation. Nothing was confirmed there, but it's possible. So that might be another reason why he got rid of him. But right now, it's not looking too great. But I'm hoping he can be like, hey, remember when you told me Devonte being traded was a bad move? Well, guess what? DK Metcalf. I kid.
I'd like to see that.
I wish. No, Lee, he's not perfect. No one's perfect. He's done a lot more good than bad.
He's still a great bald bastard.
Yes, he is. I just really hope like he has something behind his back that we can't see yet. And if not, well, we're going to bank on this team. We're going to bank on the roster they have. We're going to bank on the scheme. We're going to bank on Arthur Smith getting these guys involved. And I'm praying to God we get T. Higgins. And if we don't get T. Higgins, if we don't make a splash at receiver, we're going to draft somebody. That's kind of the future of the Steelers wide receiver position outside of George Pickens. I think we can all just hope and pray in unison that Pickens doesn't get hurt. Let's get a prayer circle going on.
Yeah, can
right
we get
now.
some like prayer circles, prayer emojis in the chat?
Let's get a prayer circle going on that Pickens doesn't get hurt. Please. That is my biggest fear right now. If Pickens,
Of course. And the way the Steelers have been bit by the injury bug, I mean, my God.
yeah,
I fear if Pickens were to go
Dude,
down.
Like I'll go down right now. Roman Wilson got hurt. Then Warren got hurt. Fatanu got hurt. Ryan Watts got hurt. George Washington got hurt. Isaac Seumalo got hurt. Broderick's hurt.
Nate Herbert got hurt.
Nate Herbert got hurt. Dylan Cook's hurt. I mean, you can't avoid injuries, but all these happening around a similar amount of time, so close to each other. God, Pickens, please just...
They better wrap Pickens up in bubble wrap.
Yes, please, for the love of God. For the love of everything holy. Please, man. And if that... yeah, Najee too, exactly.
Of course, Najee.
That's why he didn't play the last preseason
Cade,
game.
we're not trying to jinx it. We're not trying to jinx it. That's the last thing we want to do here.
No. You know, maybe if we don't speak about it, we won't put it out there in existence. You know what I mean? Just don't think about it and it won't happen. Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
I don't know. Otherwise, yeah, if they trade for somebody, yes. Yes, T. Higgins.
And some.
And some.
$5.
Says T. Higgins, what are the possibilities? We got Queen from the Ravens and possibly Higgins from the Bengals. That'd be crazy. That's my thought process right now. He would be the Queen of 2025.
Then who's 2026? It's got to be a former Brown, right? Who would that be down the road?
That's
If we had to
too far
think
down
2
the
years
road.
down the line, you know, if that's going to be the trajectory, right? Quinn from the Ravens, Higgins from the Bengals. Who the hell would be a Browns free agent in 2026? And at that time, what would be a position of need? No, he just got extended. I know why you put him there. We're not getting the Joker. He got extended. He's there until like 2027, I think. He's not leaving. As much as I would love him here. Then again, we don't exactly need him at the moment. Though still, you can never have too much.
Denzel Ward.
When's his contract over?
2027, but they could always cut him after 2026. Because at 2026, he would be 29. So he'd be on the tail end of his career. But if he could still ball,
It also depends on the injury factor, too.
it could be like Joe Hayden all over again.
Imagine that, right?
They say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but...
Unless you're a former Brown, hey.
Hey, when it's the Browns, bro, anything can happen. Outside of a Super Bowl victory. Or a division title. That's impossible. I am convinced that in my lifetime, I will never see the Browns win a division title. I'm convinced. We've been on this planet for 25 years now, and they have not won a championship.
The last time they won a division championship, it was when the AFC Central existed.
What was that, 91?
And that's wasn't the Oilers a part of that division when the Oilers were a team?
Here, let me search it. Browns last
Weren't the
division
Jags a
title.
part of that division too?
1989.
Okay, the Jags obviously were not a part of that, but the Oilers were for sure.
The Browns have AFC Central.
Yeah,
It
AFC
doesn't
Central.
exist no more. Doesn't exist no more. When did the AFC North start?
2000. It was 2000 something, right? Or before 19?
Started in 2022. We were 3 years old.
2002.
2000. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We were 3 years old. And in our entire lifetime, they haven't won a division title yet.
Nope.
So I'm convinced they'll never win a division title. They got lucky enough they actually got a head coach for more than 2 years.
Yeah, Stefanski.
Didn't Jerry Jones get Martavis? He did, like, I think it was last year.
Martavis is a free agent.
Fuck it, bring him in.
Danny,
Fuck it.
Danny, that is not happening.
Swear jar.
You
Why
know
not?
damn well that ain't happening.
Who else we got?
Dude, he couldn't even make it on the Commanders practice squad. Okay? He couldn't make it in the XFL, dude. It's not happening. Let it go.
Archie Manning 2027. I'm game. I'm excited to see him with the Longhorns, man.
Hey.
Unless he...
Get your fingers up. The bloodlines, man. You know how the Steelers are.
Unless, of
They
course...
acknowledge the bloodlines.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Manning with the Longhorns whenever he starts. Unless, of course, he enters the transfer portal, which is very possible.
I think Quinn Ewers I think he's going to be eligible for the draft after this upcoming college season. So I think afterward, that's my anticipation would be when we see Archie Manning for the Texas college football team.
Bring back Des Fitzpatrick, whom they cut. Yeah. Maybe say Amalu gets put on IR for the first 4 weeks, which would open a roster spot for Des Fitzpatrick.
I would do that. I would bring back Des Fitzpatrick.
Why not? I would. We need numbers. We need numbers, dude.
By the way, the Steelers did sign a wide receiver on the practice squad, and his name is Brandon.
Wrong Brandon.
Obviously. But his last name's Johnson. Brandon Johnson, former Broncos wide receiver. He's very
familiar with Asani and
took the
Wilson.
words right out of my mouth. I was just about to mention that.
I know.
But, hey, twins think alike. But
We finish each other's sentences.
yeah, sure. And I guess you could say the Steelers replaced Johnson with Johnson. That was their long-term vision, Danny. This whole time. We couldn't get Cortland Sutton, but we got Brandon Johnson, man. It all worked out, right?
I'm gonna get a new poll in the chat before we get on
I
out
kid,
of
by
here.
the way.
I know. Yes. I wasn't gonna say it.
Oh,
That's dead. Yes. All right, let's get a new poll.
would that be a chant if Aiyuk was a Steeler?
Yeah, I would have chanted it. Let me get a quick poll in the chat. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying any of these names are going to happen, but
Well,
maybe.
What are you putting? What are you putting?
If you're not down with that,
Oh wow, Anselm with a 2. What are we giving for Higgins? Well, he'd be a free agent, so
Well, money-wise,
probably somewhere along the lines of like 26 a year. Maybe less than that. Well, when you compare it to
it could be.
when you compare it to all the other contracts. Here, let me get this poll in the chat and I'll look at the contracts. Who do you think? So him, anyone else that you were searching for?
What? Oh, Chris Godwin. That was another name I threw out. Though I don't anticipate
Anyone
it.
else?
Looking, if I were to look at the
Okay, here. I
scale of the NFL,
I'll put a poll in the chat for you guys. What wide receiver would you trade for? DK Metcalf, Devonte Adams, Chris Godwin, or anybody?
I don't know, dude. I'm looking. I don't know.
Yeah, if we look at the wide receiver contracts, because you got Jay Jettas, you got CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amara St. Brown. They didn't even update Ayuk's yet. But
No.
if we're thinking maybe somewhere around the 26 mil a year range, he'd be like right above Coop, right below DJ Moore. Would he take that? Would he? I don't know, because
What's DJ Moore?
DJ Moore's 27.5. Devonta Smith has 25 flat. So he could get more than that. Nico Collins has 24.25. So T. Higgins might be worth more. In fact,
I would say about the 27 mil range.
he is worth more, as a matter of fact.
I would say that.
Ansem with a 10. Ansem, bro, you goat.
Devonte is all he says.
Devontae. All right, you know what? We're putting all of our attention, all of our resources into Devontae Adams. DK or Devontae? DK or Devontae? That's who I'm putting my focus on now. Yes, I'm going to get my hopes up for something that probably won't even happen, but you know what? That's the life of being a Steelers fan. If you haven't noticed that by now, then
That's your life.
wake up and smell the roses.
That's your life, dude.
No, man, the life of being a Steelers fan is to hope for the best, have wishful thinking, and ultimately to be disappointed.
Well, listen, I hope for the best, but at the same
That's all we've
time,
known.
I let stuff play out.
That's
I
all-
keep my expectations
Bro,
low.
That's all we've known for the last 10 years. We get our hopes up, we have wishful thinking, and then we ultimately feel disappointed in the end. We don't reach that goal. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do.
You know how it is.
Hence why my expectations have been low for some time.
I'm talking the last 10 years. Obviously, we have
Yeah, the
most
last 10 years, I mean, it's been nothing but a kick in the balls.
I know.
My God.
Yeah, from that 2014 to that 2017 range.
How do we
was
not
our
at least
best,
get to one?
That was our best chance.
How do we not at least get to a Super Bowl?
If you want to go earlier than that, 2020. And that was a disaster. I'm not here to talk about that right now. I don't want to.
You brought it up.
I'm already depressed. But a lot of you guys are saying DK. A lot of you guys are saying DK, man. I like it. DK or Devonte? Hey, the Steelers have had talks with other teams, man. That has been reported for months now. We don't know exactly what teams, but obviously the Niners, obviously the Broncos, and I think the Seahawks were involved. Those are the only 3 teams we know that they talked to. It was up to 6 teams, I think. So, again, I think Khan has something up his sleeve. It's not going to be so soon until we find that out. Maybe we never find out. Maybe we never get anything. I just pray, man. I don't know. But
Maybe that's how it works. Just think that nothing happens, and then when it happens, like, holy shit, it happens.
you get blindsided, and then here we are thinking we're going to win the Super Bowl. You know? Life as a Steelers fan. Gotta love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Anything else on Twitter, man?
Literally nothing. I mean, I've been scrolling. I've been looking around. There's just nothing.
No, going to Super Bowl with Tomlin in charge. Mike C., I agree.
Oh, we put out a video right after that Texans blowout last year. I mean, that pretty much set the deal for us.
Didn't Michael Pittman just get paid?
Yeah, he was one of the receivers that was extended.
Yeah, he's not even an option.
He's not leaving.
Higgins is an absolute option. Y'all, we can never beat Brady because Bill Belichick was better head coach than Mike Tomlin. Yeah. Mike Tomlin even does it with 1-2 year head coaches. Like last year
was so freaking.
Dude, he got out coached by so many first year head coaches. Rookie head coaches, I guess. He gets out coached by a lot of coaches, man.
Yeah, the Cardinals head coach, the Colts new head coach, Texans, of course. Like, my God.
Yeah, and that's why I fear that
DeMeco Ryans, man. I mean, he took a team in rebuild mode and took them to the fucking playoffs. To the divisional round.
I'm hoping that's...
With rookies that he did not hesitate to start, by the way.
I'm hoping that's not the same for next week because he's facing a first-year head coach in Raheem Morris, who also has his offensive coordinator from Los Angeles.
It's been a while since Raheem Morris has been a head coach, by the way.
I know.
It's been a real long time, so this could be a new lease on life for him.
Listen, man.
A different chapter, and he's got a guy like Kirk Cousins looking to bounce back off a season-ending Achilles injury.
It'll be interesting.
And the additions, they just left and right added to the defense.
That's for next week, man.
I know it is.
We're going to talk about it next week, but yes. To say that I'm not feeling confident is an understatement right now, heading into week 1. But this entire...
let me just say this. I honestly don't know what to expect. I don't.
Oh, I don't know what to expect either. You're right.
If you're not down with that,
Anza, man. Another one. Thank you with a 5. Pittsburgh all in on Devonte, 1 year, $20 million, $50 million guaranteed. Possible chance at a Super Bowl. I'd hope so. I would hope so, man. Maybe we could bank on that. Maybe they trade for him. And I don't know. Maybe they get a rookie quarterback next year and we can make a push with a rookie quarterback in his rookie contract. That's how I'm viewing it, man.
I'll see.
Now, we will be live again later this week. It might not be till tomorrow or maybe even Saturday night. Either way, I want to get one more little live discussion discussing the entire outlook of the entire Steelers 2024 season. I was not anticipating to go live tonight regarding this unfortunate news, but here we are. But we will be live again at some point this week to discuss the whole season for the Steelers because there's a lot I've been thinking about the past week or so after seeing everything in preseason. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there is a deep fear in the back of my mind that Mike Tomlin is going to lead us to another repeat season all over again. That's my fear. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll get into all that this upcoming, I guess, Friday, Saturday? Probably Saturday.
Just whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys can anticipate that towards the tail end of this week before we hit finally game week.
Yeah.
Which is next week, man. So
months in the making.
Months in the making, and unfortunately Aiyuk will not be a part of that, but
we'll have to move on.
Things happen.
Like we are with Kenny Pickett.
Well, we officially now have to move on. We're not even going to talk about it no more. We can't talk about it. That sign is gone. That sign is gone. So
yeah, just don't step on a push pin. I don't know where it went.
You got one in there.
One's in there. I don't know where the other one went.
It's right on the thing.
Oh, okay, good.
We're good. We're good, man.
We're still good.
But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Appreciate every single last one ends on this impromptu live stream of this depressing news about Brandon Aiyuk signing a 4-year extension with the Niners. no trade in place or no trade will be happening when it comes to that. And the Steelers are, for now, screwed at wide receiver. And you are in the right for questioning Omar Khan and what he has given the Steelers at wide receiver. You have every right to feel that way. But hopefully he has something up his sleeve and he can give us some hope and give us some answers at receiver. Otherwise, yeah, we're sticking with the team. We're sticking with the roster. They got to stick with the weapons they have and hope that everything works out. Yay. But otherwise, appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. Appreciate everything. Appreciate all the support. You guys are great. And again, we'll be live later this week to discuss the entire outlook of the Steelers 2024 season and essentially looking at their ceiling and what we really are expecting and what we hope to see for the Steelers 2024 season. We'll be live later this week to discuss all that. And we're going to get out of here. We're going to enjoy the rest of our night. And I'm going to keep my mind away from this news. So,
well, we'll do something to keep ourselves occupied.
For sure. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys a lot. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. See you guys later this week. And tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. For some of us, it's the end of the work week, so make it a strong Friday.
But tomorrow will be the start of Labor Day weekend.
Yes, it will. So if you guys are having any plans, you guys are traveling, you guys are partying or whatnot, do it safely. Have fun, enjoy yourselves, and do it safely because this is pretty much the last summer holiday.
Thank God. I'm ready for fall.
So am I.
I'm ready for football season. I'm ready for the festivities.
So am I. I'm right there with you, bro. But this is the last summer holiday. This is the last summer cookout, the last summer family gathering pretty much. So enjoy it. Enjoy the nice weather. Have fun. Be safe out there. And let's hope you guys are ready for week 1 next week. It's gonna be a wild ride, man.
Let's ride.
Were you coming, Atlanta?
Yeah. God.
Yeah, right?
Yes. I just I'm a little scared. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
See you guys in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!
Van Jefferson, ladies and gentlemen.
Van Jefferson, wow. Come on down. You are the latest contestant. You are the next guest on We Are So Screwed at Receiver, so you're going to have to step up.
Also featuring Scotty Miller, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie.
Let's not forget Calvin Austin III. And introducing Roman Wilson.
Where's the Friends intro? Or not that, not the Friends. How about Full House? Who knows the Full House intro?
I do.
The music and everything?
What about Family Matters?
Yeah.
It's a wreck and okay. I'm not going to start singing because once I start I never end. We're getting out of here.